Hi, in this tutorial I'm going to show you my workflow for making buildings for FlightGear scenery. I'm going to load in a background image. You can go to Google Maps, find the area you want of the building, and screenshot it. I'm going to numpad 7 to go to top view, numpad 5 to go into orthographic view. You can also select that down in the view menu, top view and orthographic view. And next I'll change the units to imperial. That'll be like feet. And so I took this with Google Earth, and you can see there's a scale here. This length here is 1,000 feet. I'm going to add in a cube. It's already 2 units wide. I'm going to scale it on the X by 500, and then move the background image to match that. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to delete the cube. I like to rotate the image so that the buildings are north and south to make modeling easier. That looks about right. Okay, now I'm going to add a plane, move it to the center of this building, tab into edit mode, scale it up, scale it along X, Z to go into wireframe mode, SY, and now I don't know how tall this building is, but you can get a good idea by looking at the shadows. And this car here has a shadow that's like about the same width like as its height, so that means the sun's at probably like a 45-degree angle, and so this shadow here, if this shadow on the car is about 7 foot tall, this one's probably about 15 foot tall. So I'm going to extrude this up 15 foot. Oops. Easy. 15. And now I'm going to add a loop cut to get the right height of the doors. Actually, first over here, mesh display, I'm going to turn on edge length to see how tall the edges are. Put this at about 7 foot. Yeah, that's good. And then I'll use the knife tool to cut some doors. So K for the knife tool, Z to make it cut through both sides of the mesh, C to constrain it to up, down, left, right. I'm going to cut a door. And I'm going to cut another one over here. And I don't know what this building looks like, so I'm just guessing. And then I don't need these faces on the bottom. I'm going to delete those faces. Select these door faces. I'm going to change the transform orientation to normal, rotation or pivot point to individual origins. Extrude this in about 6 inches. Well, that didn't work. Yeah, anyway, now I'm going to select the faces at the bottom of the doors that were just created. Because I don't need them, I'm going to select them and delete them. I'll just go into side view mode, use box select, just select all the faces at the bottom right there. X, delete faces. Okay, now I'm gonna add a new material, walls, another one, roof, and another one, doors. Gonna select the doors. Assign the doors material. And select the roof. I to inset, E, extrude it down a little bit. Control numpad plus to select more. So I have the roof selected. I'm gonna click on the roof material, assign that. Now all the materials should be correct. Okay, now I'm going to, oops, I'm going to open up the textures that I'm going to use. Open up the roof texture, door texture, and wall texture. Now I'm going to select the wall material, new texture, select the wall texture. Now I'm going to select the roof material, add a new texture, and select the texture for the roof, doors, new texture, select the door texture. Now I'm going to select the roof, and then UV image editor, go to the texture app for the roof, and then in the 3D view, U, and then Smart UV project. Okay, that unwraps it on this texture. I'm going to scale it, select A to select everything, scale it down, move it over to this part of texture that has less scratches, Alt C in the 3D view to see textured view, and I'm going to scale this like that to get better stretching. And now I'm going to select the walls, go to the wall texture and the UV image editor, use Smart UV project. Okay, I'm going to A to select everything, R90, and then scale that up a bunch. If you have a tileable texture, when you scale it bigger than the texture, it'll just tile, as you can see. And now I'm going to select the doors, go to the door texture, and use Smart UV project. I'm going to grab these faces. Since I have multiple doors that use the same texture, I'm just going to put these faces on top of each other. Control tab to change selection mode. I'm going to box select, B to box select, select these, scale 0, and then UVs, constrained image bound, drag these to that corner. S0, G. I'm going to select everything and scale it to the size of the store. And that one is upside down. Rotate it 180 degrees. That one's right. That one is upside down. There we go. I'm just rotating the ones that are upside down. I'm going to select it, 3D view, and then in the UV image editor, R to rotate, and then 180 to rotate 180 degrees. And that is all texturing. Now I'm going to make a new UV map over in this, what is this tab? Not sure. And call this bake map just for fun. And now I'm going to make a new texture for this building. First, we'll name this building building. Spelled that wrong. I'm going to make a new texture down here, press the plus, name this building. If you have a uncomplicated building, 1024 is usually enough dimension, enough pixels for it. If you have a big complicated one, you probably want 2048. If it's really small, 512. And there we go. And with this new UV map selected, I'm going to select everything, Smart UV Project. I'm going to add a little margin, 0.3 I think. And then that needs to be on this building texture. I'll do that again. Okay, and that looks good. And I like to have the doors scaled up on this texture so they're at better resolution. So I'm going to select the doors, move them out here, and then move these over here, scale them up. This is kind of unnecessary, but it makes the doors look better. Because the mapping covers more pixels when it bakes. Okay, now I'm going to go into the world settings, enable ambient occlusion, set it to multiply, leave it at that factor, environment lighting, 0.1 power, and now I'm going to add a sun lamp, and I'm going to rotate this on Y by 10 degrees and X by 10 degrees. This will give, if you have more complicated buildings overhang, you can see the shadow and stuff. If you don't want to see shadows, you can just put it straight down, then it'll look right at any time of the day in the simulator. But now I'm going to select this, go into rendering tab, go down to bake. I'm going to set the margin to 4 pixels and leave it on full render, and click bake, and there we go, it's baked. And in the world tab you can change gather to approximate, and that'll make it bake faster. And now we have the building texture. I'm just going to F3 to save it, and then you name it and save it. And now that we have the daylight texture, I'm going to delete the sun lamp, add a point lamp, and then Shift D and duplicate it a couple times. And I'm going to change the power. The energy of these lamps, so the brighter, oops, too many. There we go. And I'll select this, change the environment lighting down because it's night, put like 0.01, and then click bake. Then we have a light map that we can use that looks like the buildings at night. F3, and I'm gonna add to the end of it underscore and then light map, and that's it. Now we want to remove all these materials we had for baking, add a new one. I usually name it what the building's called, so building, and then make a new texture. I'll name it building, and then for this texture we'll want to use the texture we just baked, and that's going to be building. And you want to come down here, and for the UV map you'll want to select bake map, and you can delete the UV map we used for mapping the original textures. Delete it, and now it's ready for export as AC. So what you want to do before export is make sure that it has the right UV map, has one material, the material has a texture, one texture that is the texture we just baked, and that this map that you made is selected. Now we can file and export. If you have the AC3D exporter installed, click on this and select where you want to output, name it, and then export the AC, and that's it. You can, and then this light map here, yeah, you just press F3 and you export it to the same place, and it's ready for implementation in FlightGear.